that's just a small part of it, and that's part of the whole condition, is the frustration and the lack of impulse control and everything. I think that's what was most upsetting, is just that that's what people think when they see him. They're probably thinking, oh, look at that brat, and the mother's not doing anything about it, and he's being so disrespectful. And I mean, yeah, he is, but you have to kind of put all these other factors into play and understand that that's not the only thing that's going on. And then when he comes down off of that, he's fine, and he's very sorry. It's just like he goes to another place. It's like he's two different people, and we've had several of those situations. There are more that I could share. We'll just go with that one though for now. And they can last for a long time, hours at a time, where you just have to send him to his room and separate him so that he can get that out of his system, because that's really the only thing you can do, is just to let him work it out. You can't rationalize with him. We've tried that, and that's worse, because it just kind of ignites it even more. And so you just kind of have to let him get through that, and then you can talk about it. And he's always very sorry, and I believe that, and so we work through those. They don't happen very often anymore, thank goodness, but they happen sometimes, and we deal with them as best we can.
And but the good thing is that we laugh about it.
We do. We have to.
Tell us about your emotional journey with Jacob. Like, how did you feel when you're out and people are staring?
That's really hard. The interesting thing is that that's harder for me than it is for Jacob, I think. He's usually the one that tells me, Mom, let it go. But people do stare, and it's, the first time they look, I understand, because some of his tics are really, really loud, and it's startling. I mean, you're going to turn around like, oh, what was that sound? But then when they continue to stare, openly stare, that's when I have a problem, and that's when it really makes me mad. And a couple of times I have said something to people. I try not to, but I'm very protective, obviously. I'm his mother. I don't want people staring at him. And but one thing I will tell you is that I do not let it keep me from taking him places. I would never do that, and I walk very proudly with him. And I don't like to see people stare, but they will. They do.
Okay. When he reacts to, what about when he reacts so positively to people? How does that feel?
When he reacts positively to people, this kid has such a great attitude. Sometimes I have no idea where he pulls it from. I like to think that maybe I've parented him pretty well along the way, and that maybe he's gotten some of his strength from me. But it just, I'm so proud. The fact that he would go on TV, when we did the WTOC thing, to talk about it, and he wants to become a youth ambassador for Tourette's. Can't do it till he's 13, but those children get to speak to schools, and they travel, and they go to Washington, D.C. and speak before Congress to get funding for research for Tourette's, and that's something that he wants to do. And, of course that makes me proud that he's that comfortable with himself, which he should be. He absolutely should be. But, I don't know that I would have had that strength when I was his age. I like to think I would, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have. He's a very strong kid.
How strained was your family?
How has it strained the family? It has. It's hard, especially with Nicholas in the mix, because there's a lot of tension in the house on the bad days. We have way more good days than we do bad days, but the bad days are bad. They're really, really bad, and it just throws everything off. Everybody gets in a really bad mood. There's a lot of stress in the house. There's yelling, which, definitely not proud of that, but, you lose your patience. It's hard, and it's put strain on a lot of different areas, Warner and I have disagreed on the way certain things are handled, and so there's a strain there sometimes. Fortunately, we're a family who talks through things. We always have, and so that's our strong point, is that even in the worst times, we get through that, and then we sit down and talk about it and try to figure out what went wrong, or just how to make it better.
And how's that brought your family closer together and stronger?
Well, it's definitely made us stronger, I think. You have to be. I think we're stronger than a lot of people, even though we've got that, the weakness, the Tourette's and OCD kind of pulling at the family, it makes us stronger because we talk about it, and because we're being proactive. I mean, we're reaching out, we're taking our story out to as many people as we possibly can, and that's definitely bringing us together. You know, and that we're just so proud of Jacob. You know, it's made us a much stronger family because we have to be to get through the tough times. If we were not a strong family, there's no way that anyone could survive the bad days, but we do.
Tell us about the book you're writing, about your experiences.
I am writing a book about my emotional journey through Jacob's Tourette's diagnosis, and just kind of how it's affected me along the way. And it's been a tough book to write because I'm writing about things that I've done and things that I've said that I'm not really proud of, but I think that has to be said because I think that there are so many people, so many parents, mothers, who need to have that said, who need to know that, okay, I'm not the only one who has wanted to get in the car and drive far, far away. I would come back, but to get away, to just to clear my head on the bad days. And, you know, I've gone in the closet and just cried because I don't know how to get through this day, but I come out of the closet. That's what I do. I always come out of that closet and I come out with a better attitude. And so that's what the book is about, is just about all of the emotions that I've gone through. I mean, it's almost like somebody has died.